cleaned as much of it as I could. So enjoy.
This is Hollywood and CBS presenting Forecast Number 4. Herbert Marshall, directed by Alfred Hitchcock in the first program of a proposed new series entitled Suspense. Tonight's Forecast program, ladies and gentlemen, represents the ideal form of collaboration. Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, brilliant English director of such outstanding motion pictures as The 39 Steps, Rebecca, and Foreign Correspondent, was eager to create a very special type of radio drama, the suspense story. As narrator and star for his production, he thought at once of the distinguished actor with whom he had been associated in countless British film successes, Herbert Marshall. Mr. Marshall suggested that they dramatize a certain favorite story of his. And that story happened to be the very one Mr. Hitchcock had in mind. Mrs. Bella Clown's classic in Chills, The Lodger. The Lodger is a work of fiction which springs from recorded fact. A story which begins in the year 1888 in London. A London terrorized by the fifth in a succession of recent murders. It was believed that these deeds were the work of one person, a tall, gaunt figure in a black Inverness cape, carrying a small, narrow bag. That meager description, provided by a highly unnerved witness, was the sum total of all that was known of the murderer. It was enough, however, to keep alive and alert the interest of all London, of all those in fine quarters and all those in small, grimy houses, as, for example, Ellen Bunting. Ellen was no different from all the other middle-aged housewives dwelling in the great city's squalid Whitechapel district. She knew all the known facts of the case. As Herbert Marshall will tell you, Ellen knew it was quite proper to refer to this wielder of the knife as the Avenger.
Of course, Ellen Bunting was far more concerned with her personal problems than with thoughts of the Avenger. Yet the case of that strange, elusive killer quite often forced all other matters from her mind. There was that mad, meaningless scheme he seemed to follow. All his victims, for example, had been women. All had been young, attractive, and, oddly enough, blonde. But Ellen could no more understand the motive for his brutal slashings than could the police. This night, she and her husband, Robert Bunting, sat before their fireplace reading the newspaper account of the latest murder. The Avenger had struck again. As Ellen expressed it, he might be anybody. He might be the fellow you pass on the street.
It's a terrible thought.
Yes. If only the police had something to go on. It looks like that Avenger's just too quick for him.
Look, it says here that this girl he got last night was like all the others. Pretty, blonde, and, let's see, described by her friends as a very light-hearted girl. What a pity.
Did you ever stop to think who fits that to a T? In fact, fits all those girls?
Why...
Why, my own Daisy.
Oh, that's a horrible thought. Well, maybe it's a good thing she's with her aunt, then, instead of here. London ain't a safe place for any girl right now.
Just the same, I can't help thinking how fine it'll be to have her back in.
Now, Bunting, you know that Daisy seems just as much my own daughter as she is yours. But I'm telling you, there's no sense even thinking about having her back right now. We just can't afford it.
Oh, I know that, Ellen. Only, well, maybe we could manage it some way.
How? Haven't I scrimped myself half crazy trying to keep us going? But you don't care about that, do you? No, your Daisy's more important to you than I am.
No, Ellen, that don't sound like
you. Oh, I can't help if it don't. What are we going to do? Tell me that.
We'll get along, dear. Something will turn up.
Oh, we haven't had a lodger for months. Nobody even comes to look at the room anymore.
But things will work out, Ellen.
Oh, they ain't never going to work out. Soon we won't even have a roof over our heads and... Oh, I'm sorry, Robbie. I didn't mean to take on so.
Oh, I know, dear. I know. It's all right.
Oh, I didn't think it. It's just that I've been so worried.
Well, don't you go worrying another second, old girl. Why, first thing you know, you won't be pretty anymore. You'll have your face all wrinkled.
Now,
and
see
Now,
here,
come on, now,
Bunty.
let's see a smile. Come on, just have one smile for me. Just one smile like you used to, eh? Who do you suppose that could be?
A late visitors. Bunting, do you think it could be somebody looking for rooms?
Well, it might be. Want me to go to the door?
No, I'll go.
Oh.
You just stay here.
Yes, all right. Now, be sure you get a good look at the rooms before you let them in, dear.
Oh, I'm coming. Oh, I do hope it's... Yes, sir?
Is it not true that you let lodgings?
Yes, sir. Won't you come in, sir?
Thank you.
Could I take your cape, sir?
There's no need. Now, I'm looking for a quiet room. It must be quiet.
Oh, we have that, sir. Above all, our house is quiet. Your bag, sir. May I take it?
No, I'll hold it. You'll be so good as to show me the room, please.
Oh, yes, sir. It's right up these stairs, sir. This way.
Thank you.
You see, sir, there's just my husband and me here, and we're ever so quiet, and I'm sure you'll find this room to your liking, sir. Here we are. Now, I'll just light the gas. There.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
It is pleasant, isn't it, sir? And there's not many rooms with such pretty pictures. Are there now? We've had them in the family for years, sir, and...
Pictures interest me very little. You see, what really impresses me about the room is the very simplicity of it, the bareness.
Yes, sir. It's not at all crowded, is it?
It will be quite suitable, Mrs.
Bunting.
Mrs. Bunting. You see, I do a great deal of studying in my book here, the Holy Bible.
Yes, sir. Please, sir, let me help with your luggage.
No, don't touch it.
Oh, but I only wish to...
Oh, you only wish to help, of course. You must forgive me, Mrs. Bunting. It's just that I'm so very weary.
Of course, sir.
He bringeth them to their desired haven. Beautiful words, Mrs. Bunting.
Indeed they are, sir.
And now at last I have found my haven of rest.
Yes, sir. Then you'll be taking the room.
Let us see now, what are you going to charge me? With attendance, mind. I shall be staying in most of the time, and I shall be wanting meals.
Oh, we can see to that.
Then does 30 shillings a week suit you?
30... Why, yes, sir. Yes, sir, that will be quite all right.
Good, and I shall pay you in advance. My name is Sleuth, Mrs. Bunting.
Mr. Sleuth.
Sleuth. Think of a hound, Mrs. Bunting, and you'll never forget my name. 23, 4, 30 shillings.
Thank you, sir.
And I think I should enjoy a little light supper now, Mrs. Bunting. Bread and butter, perhaps. Could you arrange that?
Well, certainly, sir. I'll do that now. And if you'd be requiring any beer or spirits...
Certainly not.
Oh, sir. What did I say?
I thought you understood me, Mrs. Bunting, and I had hoped that you and your husband were abstainers.
But we are, sir. We don't keep nothing about. I would have had to go out and...
Of course. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Bunting. I fear I spoke sharply. I don't wish you to think me rude. After all, you've been so kind, considerate.
I hope I know a gentleman when I see one.
Thank you very much.
Now, I'll just hurry with your supper.
Ellen, did he take the room?
No, don't bother me now. I have to get him some supper.
What do you mean?
Come to the kitchen where he won't hear us.
He took it, Ellen? He took the room?
Yes, we're all right now. Look, 30 shillings. A week in advance.
Oh, it's wonderful. Wonderful. And Ellen, do you see what this means?
Yes, you can have Daisy now.
Yes.
Here, Bunting, warm that teapot and put some tea leaves.
Righto. Yeah, do you know something, old girl? We're not going to worry too much about Daisy being in danger of that Avenger fella.
Whatever do you mean, Robbie?
Well, she's not a girl who takes a drink, you know.
What's that to do with it, please?
Oh, something I read in the paper while you was upstairs with the gentleman. They just found out that every one of the Avenger's victims had been drinking. They figured he must be some kind of a rabid abstainer.
What a peculiar chap. Now hurry, Bunting, please.
Yes.
Two thoughts only governed Ellen's mind. The lodger's light supper and her own good fortune at having such a lodger. Mr. Sleuth was an eccentric sort, but then he was such a gentleman, so quiet, so very religiously inclined. She started up a staircase to Mr. Sleuth's room, her husband at her side.
Won't we know I'll be safe, though, once Grace is back in London, eh? We'll see she stays closer in the house, Well, I'll be downstairs. Hurry up with your supper, old girl.
She has cast down many wounded from her. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Come in, and to know the wickedness of folly.
Why,
Yes? What is it?
Those pictures. Those pretty girls. You've turned all their faces to the wall.
And that maneuver, that strange action, was the beginning of Erin's concern. Soon there came to her a recollection of the Black Inverness Cape, the small, narrow bag, the urgent matter of alcoholic drink. And these details began to shape themselves into a pattern which grew more disturbing with each passing hour. The day following, the lodger did not leave the upstairs room once, nor did he leave the next day. And the oddness of this took its place in the pattern. Then, too, the approaching arrival of Daisy, her stepdaughter, added to her concern. On the second night, her sleep was restless with vague, horrifying images. And so when she heard the first stealthy footsteps outside her bedroom, she was instantly awake. Tensely, she followed those steps downstairs, down the hallway. She heard the front door open, and then click shut. Utter stillness fell upon the house. And outside the streets were so silent she could hear distinctly the clock from a church tower a mile away tolled the hour. In her troubled frenzy, she pictured a lone figure plodding through the deep fog, moving quietly, stealthily, stalking, searching, finding. When, soon after she heard the lodger return, she sought to quiet the horrible dread which had possessed her. She assured herself that Daisy's arrival that day was no cause for alarm. Now she reasoned, how could there be anything really evil about so religious a gentleman as Mr. Sleuth? But for her there was no more sleep, merely a tormented state of half-consciousness, a state which suddenly dropped from her shortly after daybreak. Horrible murder. That was the piercing scream of a newsboy far down the street. Erin Bunting heard the boy cry out the Avenger's latest stroke, made during the night. Erin's first glimpse that morning of the grey-faced lodger brought the sleepless night's warm terror full to the surface. But on the next instant, she saw the pitiable, helpless weariness in his eyes, and curiously the terror began to pass. She found that she was hoping desperately that her fears were unfounded. Earlier, she had determined to tell Bunting of the awful convictions in her mind. Now, however, she felt she must be certain before she spoke to a soul. She knew there was one thing she must examine. That was the lodger's single piece of luggage. She'd thought of it often. What could it hold? Not much in the way of clothing, surely. It was too small, too narrow. It was more like a case. A case for a knife. It was along toward noon that Erin found her opportunity to search the lodger's room. Soon after Bunting left to meet Daisy, Mr. Sleuth himself walked from the house. Erin watched the tall, thin figure in the black Inverness cape disappear down the street, and then she rushed upstairs, into the room. Quickly, she moved to the closet. It was no different from what it had always been, utterly empty. She found nothing under the bed. She went then to the chest of drawers against the wall. She opened the top drawer and found inside nothing but a frayed shirt, 2 handkerchiefs. The next drawer, underclothes, socks. The next empty. There remained then only one possible place for the small, narrow bag, the bottom drawer, and it was locked. Tugging at the door, she heard suddenly the opening of the front door downstairs. Panic-stricken, she rushed out of the room and down the hall to the head of the stairs.
Upstairs, Ellen? Ellen, Daisy's here.
Oh, Mother Ellen, it's so good to see you. And well, whatever's the matter?
Yes, you've gone quite white.
Oh, well, I'm all right. I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Oh, you don't know how fine it is to be back, Mother Ellen. Oh, the country's all right in its way, but there's nothing like London now, is there?
No, there isn't.
But as long as that adventure's about, I can see we're going to have to do something about these blonde locks, eh, Ellen?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll dye 'em maybe, or just pin 'em under my hat.
Daisy, I might as well get you settled.
Oh, now, Father, isn't that just like her? She's straight to the point, and no point.
Why, I'll bet a sixpence you'll have a dust cloth in your hair before you've got your coat off.
Mr. Sleuth.
Mrs. Bunting, I see my door is open.
Oh, we were just leaving, so we...
Does this mean that all of you have been in my room?
Oh, not at all, sir.
What must I do? Keep it locked?
But you see, sir, I was just tidying up a bit, and Mr. Bunting, he brought his daughter up, sir. She just arrived. This is Daisy, sir.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
She's been away for quite a long while, you see, Mr. Sleuth, and that's why we're a bit excited, you might say.
Yes, you must have been surprised when you came in, hearing us laughing and carrying on that way.
Yes, I must say I was. However, Miss Daisy, there are all types of joy, are there not?
Yes, I'm sure there are.
The despicable evil joy of the abandoned and the divine happiness of the blessed. A vast difference, that. You do understand me, don't you?
Why, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Sleuth.
I devoutly hope so, Miss Daisy. Nowadays, there are so very few young women like yourself who do. In fact, I all but despaired ever of finding one.
If you'll excuse us now, sir, we'll be getting Daisy's things put away.
Of course, Mrs. Bunting, and I must be getting to my room. Believe me, Miss Daisy, it's been a revelation to meet you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'm sure we shall have much to discuss.
He's a queer one, all right. But such a gentleman, isn't he?
At that moment, Ellen had been determined to pour out her terrible knowledge, and then the moment passed by. She told herself that perhaps the past few days had been nothing more than a grim illusion, a tormenting play of imagination. She would wait then until she had attended the coroner's inquest into the last Avenger murder. There, perhaps, she could hear evidence to disprove all her fears, to assure her there was no earthly harm in Daisy being so near the lodger. This was her gravest concern now, for on the next day, Mr. Sleuth made it a point to see the girl more than once. And fearfully, Ellen saw that Daisy welcomed his visits. As Ellen was preparing to step out of the inquest, she heard once more the voices of her stepdaughter and the lodger coming to her through the kitchen door. She hesitated before entering. Tense. Strangely apprehensive.
I do believe, Mr. Sleuth, I've never known a gentleman with such funny ideas. Oh, Mother Ellen, you should hear what Mr. Sleuth was just saying.
Perhaps, Daisy, you would excuse yourself.
He thinks people, and especially girls, should spend all their time praying.
I sought to explain, Mrs. Bunting, that all women are placed on this earth filled with evil. They therefore must struggle constantly to find the paths of righteousness.
Why, Mr. Sleuth, you mean a girl's not to enjoy life at all? Not to have fun?
Frivolity, my child, is the devil's breeding ground, and all his implements are there. Temptation, pleasure, wine.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, there's nothing I like better than a glass of wine, and I'm not...
You drink.
She didn't know what she was saying, Mrs. Sleuth. Just a child, and Daisy, you'd better go now.
But I didn't say nothing wrong. What's the harm in a glass of wine?
She lieth in wait as for a prey, and increaseth the transgressors among men.
Why, I don't know what you mean. I never heard such nonsense.
You call Holy Scripture nonsense? So what I prayed against is true. You are beyond salvation.
That's not so. I'm a good girl, I am, and I won't have you saying that.
Daisy, go into the front room.
Quite all right, Mrs. Bunting. I must be going upstairs anyway. I'm used to being misunderstood, you know. People never realize that my efforts are simply for the greater good of humanity.
Of course, sir.
And that the power on high will direct my hand toward the expulsion of all evil.
Daisy, listen to me.
Yes?
I've got to tell you about
About what, Mother Ellen?
Nothing. I've got to go out for a while now. I'll be back.
The moment to reveal the secret horror had come again and passed. Ellen's sudden recollection of Mr. Sleuth as he stood in the doorway had overwhelmed her. She must give him this last chance, this last frantic search for disproving evidence, this trip to the inquest. If that chance should fail, then she would tell Bunting or the police. So with the knowledge that Bunting was left in the house to look after Daisy, she boarded the underground train bound for the coroner's court. But as the train pulled away from the station, a new torture came to her, began to mount in her mind. It was the sudden realization that provided Sleuth was the murderer, she was equally responsible for his crimes. She had been giving him protection. If anything should happen to Daisy, she would be equally guilty. Fully as guilty as the Avenger. Ellen, seated at the rear of the small but crowded inquest room, listened to each of the witnesses as they were called. And from one of them she found the first hope she had known for many days. This witness lived next to the alley in which the Avenger had committed his crime that night. She had seen him from a window, and the man she described in no way resembled Ellen's lodger. But in another moment, Ellen's hope was swept away. It was pointed out that the fog had been so heavy that night that the witness could not possibly have seen the murderer from her window. She left the stand, replaced by a Mr. Cannot. This elderly gentleman was certain that he had not only seen, but talked with the Avenger. It was in Regent's Park, he testified, only a few moments before
the murder, Mr. Coroner. When I saw him, he was quite a tall man, very gaunt-looking, and carrying a handbag.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, a small, narrow one. Just such a bag, I might add, as might contain a knife.
As Ellen heard these words, the tension which had been mounting up within her became almost unbearable. Rigid with horror, she gripped the arms of her chair. She heard the coroner.
I shall have to ask for more order in the court. And now, Mr. Kennett, I understand you heard this man speak.
Oh, yes. He had a rather high, hesitating voice. An educated man, I would judge, but quite mad.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as he emerged from the fog, he was talking aloud to himself. Believe me, sir, he was reciting scriptures from the Bible.
Scriptures from the Bible. Horrified, Ellen rose from her seat, only half hearing the confusion about her.
Are you asking us to believe, I would say, Mr. Kennett, that the man we're looking for would be least of all a religious man?
And that's where you're in error, Mr. Coroner. The religious note is the very key to the case.
Very interesting. That'll be all, Mr. Kennett.
Just a moment, sir. Don't you understand? The man you're after must be a religious maniac. That's the only explanation possible.
You will please stand down.
The court was dismissing the very truth. Ellen knew that now. She would no longer keep silent. Her hands shot forth and she screamed.
I want to say...
Ellen Bunting, on the verge of speaking, had fainted. And then she was revived a few moments later. She said nothing. Her brain was in too great a turmoil. Her nerves too sharp. Like one in a dream, she allowed herself to be led from the courtroom. The voices of spectators were only vague sounds to her.
She was going to say something.
Yes, it was hysterics.
Yeah, that bit about the knife.
Yeah, the knife.
The knife.
The knife. As Ellen Bunting proceeded homeward, the remarks from the spectators remained in her mind. She heard them over and over.
That bit about the knife. Such a bag as might contain a knife.
We'll see she stays close in the house, eh? No harm in being safe.
Direct my hand toward the expulsion of all evil. repulsion of all evil.
What's the harm in a glass of wine? I didn't say nothing more.
As Ellen neared her neighborhood, her dread increased. With each moving footstep, the grip of terror grew tighter about her. She moved faster, faster. Before she was in time, she was 2 streets away from the house. Then one. Then she saw Bunting. Sharply, like the thrust of a knife, she realized what this meant. Daisy was left alone with the lodger.
Bunting!
What is it?
Oh, Bunting, tell me, Bunting. Where's Daisy? Where is she? I say, where?
Why, at home.
Oh, listen to me. Try to understand. Sleuth is the Avenger.
What are you saying?
Oh, Lodger, he's the Avenger, Bunting. Oh, but there's no time for that. Daisy's in danger. Hurry! Hurry!
Yes. Daisy! Daisy!
Here we are, Bunting. Here we are.
Daisy!
Oh,
Daisy!
Daisy, where are you? I look in the kitchen, Bunting. You tried the sitting room. Daisy!
Daisy!
Where are you, Daisy?
Answer me! Daisy!
Oh,
By the bedroom.
she's not here. What about the dining room?
Look, she's not there. She's not downstairs.
Then there's just his room. Go on. Open the door.
Okay, Mr. Hitchcock. Crack, cut, and clear.
Did you say cut? What's the idea, Hitch? I've a few more lines to do.
As Mr. Marshall, the narrator, you have, not as Mr. Sleuth, the lodger.
Hitch, you can't stop the play right here. It isn't fair, you know.
Why isn't it, Bart? What more is there to say?
But Mr. Hitchcock, won't people want to know what Bunting and me found in the room?
All right, Ellen. What precisely did you find?
Well, nothing, sir.
There. You see? Nothing. No lodger, no Bible. And that locked dresser drawer. What about that?
We unlocked it, sir.
And what was in it?
Nothing, sir.
You are certain, Mrs. Bunting?
Oh, you gave me quite a turn, Mr. Mr. Marshall. Yes, sir, I'm sure, sir. There was nothing.
Well, begging your pardon, Mr. Hitchcock, but don't you think we'd better just mention about Daisy?
I don't know, Bunting. What do you think we ought to say?
Oh, just that the reason she wasn't in the house when Ellen and me got there was, well, she'd gone out for a walk, that's all.
Did she enjoy it?
Oh, very much, sir. Made it to King's Cross and back in just under an hour, sir.
Splendid time, Bunting. Well, there you are, Bart. There's the story.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Hitchcock. You can't do that. That's not the story.
Of course it's not. Now, look here, Hitch. Here's the fellow who composed and conducted all our music, Wilbur Hatch. He wants to know about this, too. Everybody does.
All right, Bart. What is it they want to know?
What became of Mr. Sleuth?
Oh, him. Why, he left that afternoon. They never saw him again. And now I think we ought to say something about the Columbia
Mr.
forecast so
Hitchcock,
far.
sir, will you please...
Stop him, Mr. Marshall.
Hitch, listen to me.
Yes? What is it?
They want to know when the Avenger finally was caught.
Oh, well, let me ask you something, Bart. Are you acquainted with Loretta Young?
Yes, what's that got to do with it?
Well, in next week's Columbia preview series, Miss Young will take the starring role in the drama of an American Red Cross nurse. That's good news, isn't it?
Oh, that's great. But now listen, Hitch, you've just got to tell that audience exactly when and how Mr. Sleuth was caught.
Caught? Why on earth should he be caught?
Why? Well, he was the Avenger, wasn't he?
Was he?
Your guess, gentle listener, is as good as ours. Even Mrs. Belloc Lowndes, who wrote the novel, isn't entirely sure. For his masterful direction, our thanks to Alfred Hitchcock, whose latest pictures are David O. Selznick's Rebecca and Walter Wanger's Foreign Correspondent. For his superb characterization of Mr. Sleuth, our thanks to Herbert Marshall. And our thanks to the outstanding British character actor who tonight portrayed the role of Bunting, Edmund Gwen. If you liked tonight's program and want to hear more in the same highly original Hitchcock vein, radio versions of The Lady Vanishes and The 39 Steps, for example, write to CBS and tell us so. Your interest will help bring Suspense to the air as a weekly feature. Forecast next week presents from Hollywood, Loretta Young in Angel, first of a proposed series based on the adventures and the romance of a typical Red Cross nurse. From New York, a new sort of comedy show. Ed Gardner as Archie in Duffy's Tavern, with Gertrude Neeson, Colonel Stoopnagel, Larry Adler, and John Kirby's orchestra. Don't miss Forecast at this hour next week. Thomas P. Benson speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Hello. Hello. Oh, there you are. I was afraid for a moment that you had forgotten our appointment. Why, you almost scared me to death. And that won't do after all the pains I've taken to scare you. You remember me, don't you? I'm your host on behalf of the makers of Carter's Pills. And you're to be my guest tonight in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. Come in, friends, won't you? Thank you. Take that chair by the fire. Good. And you'll become accustomed to the dim lights in a moment. Don't get too comfortable, because we'll have you out of that chair with thrills and chills, shivers and quivers. You're on our side, aren't you? You'd better be. But don't worry. Instead of the arch criminals haunting us, we're going to haunt them. We're going to scare the daylights out of them. Yes. Welcome, then, friends. Welcome to the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. And listen to as weird and strange a tale as ever was told. The amazing death of Mrs. Putnam. The night is dismal. A light shines uncertainly in the room of a large, gloomy mansion. Suddenly, a sobbing, hysterical woman slams the door shut, rushes to the telephone.
Get the police, quick. The police. Quiet, Will. Oh, hurry. Please, hurry. Hello?
Hello? Police department?
This is Mrs. Putnam. You've got to save me from them. They'll kill me.
Put that telephone down.
Help, they're going to kill me. I'm being murdered.
Where are you?
Oh, they're killing me. Help.
Hello, operator. This is Jeff Hansen, police headquarters. Trace the call that just came through to us. Hurry.
That's funny, Jeff.
Did you hear what I heard, Porky?
I sure did, unless we're both having the same dream.
Hold it, Porky. Yes? Yes, operator. Hansen, Jeff Hansen. You have? That's swell. Write this down, Porky.
Yes, sure.
Yes? The Putnam House, Maple Street. Thank you very much.
The Putnam House?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the first time in centuries we've heard that name in the police department.
Come on, Porky. Someone in that house is in great danger. We've got to get there, and quickly. Put your foot all the way down on the gas.
Oh, what's all the excitement, Jeff? It's just another murder case or something. We get 'em wholesale.
Maybe you're right, Porky.
You're too jumpy lately, Jeff. What's the matter with you?
Oh, nothing. Just on edge.
You ought to get married. Then you'd have so many other troubles you wouldn't have time to think of yourself. You know, everybody should get married. At least once.
Especially you, Porky.
Well, I'd get married tomorrow if I knew a girl who'd love me for myself alone.
Keep your eyes on the road, Miss Advice to the Lovelorn.
All right. I forgive you for the crack. Now, look, Jeff. You and me is a great detective. Only you can solve everything but the mysteries of the heart. So what does nature do? Nature endows me with the wisdom which you ain't got in that department. Ain't nature wonderful? Sending me to straighten out your amours. Now, first of all, you gotta learn to treat love light.
This is Maple Street, Porky.
Oh, okay. I'll take up the lessons in love where I left off later.
Pull up, Miss Lovelorn, and here we are. Let's go.
All right, Jeff. It's a pretty old house. Ain't exactly a haunted place, but a ghost could feel at home here.
Don't be silly. This house is fairly modern. What are you muttering about?
I'm counting the stairs. Didn't you teach me to observe everything? 7, 8.
Now remember, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut.
You know how reliable I am, Jeff.
Yeah, I do.
Yes?
We're from police headquarters.
One moment, please. You can't come in like that.
It's all right, Williamson.
Yes, Miss Lois.
Come in, please.
Thank you, miss. My name is Jeff Hansen. This is poor Ed Lamb, better known as Porky.
I'm Lois Putnam.
How you doing, Miss Putnam?
Did you say you were from police headquarters?
Yes?
That's odd. How did you find out so soon?
We had a telephone call.
From whom?
It was a woman. I believe she said her name was Putnam.
What? Oh, no. When did you get this call?
Only a few minutes ago. The woman screamed that she was being murdered. She cried out for help.
Oh, no. What in heaven's name are you talking about? My aunt is dead.
Dead?
Yes. She died 2 hours ago.
Her name was Mrs. Putnam?
Yes, Martha Putnam.
You say your aunt died 2 hours ago?
Yes.
But we received a phone call for help only 20 minutes ago.
That's impossible. Are you sure the call came from here?
It was traced to your number. Besides, I believe the woman said her name was Mrs. Putnam. Isn't that right, Porky?
It sounded like it.
This is some idiot's idea of humor. The poor woman has been dead more than 2 hours.
Lois, you should rest. You haven't closed your eyes.
I will, Doctor. These men are from police headquarters.
Oh?
This is Dr. Holloway.
Doctor?
Detective Hanson, did you say?
Jeff Hansen. This is Ed Lamb.
Hi, Doc.
Were the police informed of your aunt's death, Lois?
They traced a strange phone call back to this house, Doctor. Somebody screamed for help.
From this house?
Yes.
Then why didn't we hear it?
Perhaps we made a mistake. However, we're forced to sort of look around. Please forgive us, Miss Putnam.
Do whatever you like.
Thank you.
Well, perhaps you'd better lie down, Lois.
I'll be all right.
Porgy, I want you to make a thorough search of the house and don't let anything go unnoticed.
You betcha.
Oh, Doctor.
Yes. Be back in a moment, Lois. What is it?
If you don't mind, Doctor, I'd...
Do you wish to ask me questions?
Please.
Quite all right.
What caused Mrs. Putnam's death?
The causes of her death were quite natural. A blood clot lodged itself in the veins of her heart. You may have heard it called coronary thrombosis.
How many members are there in the family?
Well, there's Lois and Mrs. Putnam's brother. He's very ill, and his sight is failing.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, there's Joel Adams, the gardener. He lives in the back of the garden. He and the butler have been with Mrs. Putnam for years.
Would you mind, Doctor, if I looked at Mrs. Putnam?
If you wish, just follow me.
A fascinating mystery, friends? A strange telephone call late at night. A woman screams for help, a dog barks, 2 shots ring out, and then the police dash to the house and find that the woman died of natural causes 2 hours earlier. Riddle me that, my friend. Oh, have no fear, for the day of ghost-like voices from the dead and the day of superstition is past. Or is it? We shall see. We shall see.
This way, Mr. Hanson.
Thank you. Why do you keep this door locked?
Oh, simply to avoid any scenes. They're all so high-strung.
Oh. What's the matter with your hand, Doctor?
You mean this bandage?
You hurt yourself?
That was just clumsiness. While cutting some gauze, I snipped my hand. It bled rather profusely.
I'm sorry for all this inconvenience, but in my business, it's wisest to check on everything.
I understand. You wish to examine the body more thoroughly?
No. No, I don't think so. She looks rather natural for a corpse. There we go.
Yes.
May I see the butler now?
Yes, this castle will bring him in just a few moments.
After I see him, I'd like to talk to the others, too.
Oh, you'll be tactful with Lois, won't you? She's quite broken up. She was attached to the old lady.
Of course.
Did you ring for me, Dr. Holloway?
Yes, Williamson. Detective Hanson wishes to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll take a look at Lois.
Quite all right, Doctor?
Excuse me.
Your name is Williamson, I gathered.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Putnam?
32 years.
Long time, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
By the way, did you hear any odd noises or screaming this evening?
No, sir.
You did hear 2 shots, though, didn't you?
No, sir.
You're not frightened, are you, Williamson?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. This house isn't what it seems on the outside.
Oh?
No, it's full of hatred. Everyone hated Mrs. Putnam, and she hated all of us. The Lord found vengeance. She didn't deserve to live. There wasn't a kind thought in her head.
Who killed her?
The devil took her.
Who fired those 2 shots?
Lightning struck twice.
Where is the dog?
In Hades with his mistress.
Don't think you're fooling me, Williamson, by avoiding my questions. Take me to Mr. Putnam's room.
Yes, sir. It's right here. He's very ill, though. Shall I knock?
No. No, you may go.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
I'm sorry to intrude. Are you Mr. Putnam?
Who are you?
Detective Hanson, police headquarters.
Oh, the police, eh? What are you doing in my house?
I thought the house belonged to your sister.
It belongs to me now. What business is it of yours? Who else would you leave everything to?
Mr. Putnam, did anything unusual happen to your sister earlier this evening? I mean, has she been ill?
Cat was never ill in her life.
Would there be any reason for anyone murdering her?
Murder? I don't know. Maybe. She's hurt each and every one of us. She ruined Lois' life by sending her fiancé away many years ago. She made me into the wreck I am with her cruel tongue and her devilish disposition. She was responsible for the death of the gardener's wife long ago. Hasn't done a kind thing in her life. If she's been murdered, then I say good riddance.
Is it possible that all of you had given her cause to treat you that way?
Don't you dare say that. You stupid, foolish maniac. You didn't know her. How dare you? Get out of my room. Get out of my house. Get out of my...
I'm sorry, Mr. Putnam. I didn't mean to upset you. I'll go now.
Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Porky?
Hey, I've been looking for you.
Yes?
Yeah, I've been all over the house. I checked on everything. 15 rooms, 19 windows, 8 beds, 3 fireplaces, and 3 bathrooms.
And nothing looked suspicious?
No. You think maybe there is some mistake, Jeff?
I don't know. A phone call being traced here is absolute. They never make a mistake. But her voice and her death almost 2 hours before we got the call makes it strange. I must confess I'm stumped.
Did you talk to everyone?
I'd like to talk to the gardener, but right now we'll pretend that everything's all right. That we made a mistake. We'll drive away and then come back later.
You mean you really ain't thoroughly convinced?
That's right, Porky. I've got a hunch that we're up against a case that's stranger than any we've ever known or heard of. Get in the car, Porky, and don't look back.
Right, Jeff.
I don't want them to think that we're even slightly suspicious. They may be watching us from the windows. Throw on your lights and get the car started.
Yep.
Porky.
What, Jeff?
Don't move. Just look over there.
Where?
Right straight in the beam of the light.
Well, I don't... Oh, you mean?
In the garden. That mound of earth.
It looks kind of fresh.
Right.
Holy Mazuma. You think maybe somebody's buried under there?
We'll soon find out. Drive the car down a few blocks. We'll come back on foot and very quietly.
Jumping catfish, Jeff.
Not so loud, Porky. Don't hit the rock. Just loosen it.
How much deeper are we going to dig, Jeff?
The earth is still soft. We haven't reached what we're after.
What are we after?
We'll know soon enough.
You think the old lady might be buried here and the body in the house of somebody else?
I don't know.
Hey, Jeff. Huh? Jeff, I hit something firm with my shovel. Feels like a body.
All right. Don't use the shovel anymore. We'll dig with our hands. Porky, you're right. It is a body.
Yeah, it feels like it's wrapped up in a rug of some kind.
All right. Get a grip on it. We'll pull it up.
Okay.
Let's go. It's the dog.
The dog we heard barking on the phone.
Then there were shots, and that woman's voice did come from this house. They killed the dog and the woman, too.
Are you completely mystified? Wondering about the strange death of Mrs. Putnam? And what will happen next? Well, there's no need to be frightened. We know how old-fashioned it is to stop like this suddenly and leave you in midair wondering about the outcome of the story. Oh, are you in midair? Good. Good. But we assure you everything will come out all right. We won't let you down. And this is as good a time as any to remind you of someone else who won't let you down. The makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills. When you don't feel good, try Carter's Little Liver Pills. They do the work of calomel, but have no calomel in them. For they are simple pills made of vegetable drugs. They wake up the flow of one of our most vital digestive juices. When this vital juice flows at the rate of 2 pints a day, it helps to digest our food and bring back the glorious feeling that goes with regularity. Then most folks feel like happy days are here again. But be sure you get the genuine Carter's Little Liver Pills. Now let's solve tonight's inner sanctum mystery. Where were we? Oh, yes. Jeff and Porky had just unearthed the body of a dog.
The dog we heard barking on the phone.
Then there were shots, and that woman's voice did come from this house. They killed the dog and the woman, too.
Oh, I just swallowed a lump that had nails on it, Jeff.
Quick, Porky, down.
Hey, what's the idea? Throw me right into... Shh.
Someone came to the window.
Yeah, but you didn't have to throw me right into the grave.
Sorry. Here, I'll help you out. They've left the window. Now, look, you stay here, Porky. I'm going in to talk to the gardener. You watch the house. I'll be right back.
Hey, you ain't gonna leave me here with this dead dog, are you?
Shh, quiet.
What do you want?
I'm from police headquarters. You better let me in.
What do you want?
I want some information about that dog that was buried in your garden.
You're crazy.
Who buried it there?
There's no dog in my garden.
Was there a dog in the house?
I don't know.
You'd better answer my questions, Mr. Adams, unless you prefer going to jail.
I don't know anything.
Who killed Mrs. Putnam?
Everybody. Everybody hated her.
What do you mean by that?
Everyone in that house wanted her to die. Her brother cursed her. Williamson might have poisoned her.
What about you?
Me? I didn't hate her anymore. She promised to leave all her money to me.
Oh? Why?
Well, it was her only sign of repentance.
Why, no other reason?
None that might be your business.
Did you hear any shots from the house this evening?
I was away.
Jeff! Jeff!
What is it, Porky?
Hey, come quick, Jeff.
What's happened?
I had a brainstorm. Hurry, Jeff, hurry, come on.
You'd better not leave your house, Mr. Adams.
I'll be here.
What's up, Porky?
The windows.
Huh?
While I'm out here watching the house, I casually count everything. The stairs again. I count the colored bricks and the large bricks, and then I count the windows. Count them, Jeff.
What are you driving at?
Count them. Come on, walk around the house.
Huh?
Count them.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 17, 19, 20.
20 windows. What? Great galloping ghost. 20 windows on the outside, and you said you counted...
19 on the inside.
That means that there's one window camouflaged on the inside. There must be a room within a room. Come on, Porky. We're going back inside that house. Only this time uninvited and unseen.
You think maybe the room is up around here, Jeff?
Just keep trying, Porky. Run your fingers over every inch of wall and furniture.
Yeah.
You got something?
Heart failure. I get a splinter in my finger. Why did I ever...
Shh, quiet, Porky. I think I've got it.
No kidding?
Get over here. Have your gun ready? There's a little knob here in back of the bookcase. I think it will swing the bookcase open and lead us into another room. Here goes. Look out, Porky.
Oh, you've come to kill me, but I'll kill you first. I'll kill you if you come near me.
We haven't come to kill anyone. Who are you?
I'm Mrs. Putnam.
What?
Mrs. Put... Jeff, there's the ghost we needed to top off everything.
Light a match, Porky.
Oh, there's a candle over there, Jeff.
All right, light it and bring it over here.
Okay.
How do we know that you're telling the truth, that you are Mrs. Putnam?
Heaven knows I am. But I wish I was someone else. I've gone through so much.
If you are Mrs. Putnam, then who is the dead woman downstairs?
The dead woman?
Yes.
She's my cook. She took suddenly ill and died earlier this evening.
Your cook?
I can prove to you that I'm Mrs. Putnam.
How?
My signature. I signed a new will tonight. They forced me to will everything to them. Oh, you must believe me.
We'll check on that. Was there any shooting in the house this evening?
Yes. They shot my dog while the poor creature was trying to protect me. I called the police to help me. I thought they meant to kill me, but instead they brought me up here to face a living death.
We're the police. If you are Mrs. Putnam, then we're here to help you.
Thank heaven you don't know how they tortured me to make me write a new will.
You say the new will leaves everything to them?
Yes.
In that event, it will be a simple matter to trap them and for you to prove yourself. Have you got the old will?
No, they destroyed it.
Well, it doesn't matter. You'll tell me the contents of the old will. They'll give themselves away when they hear it read. And now, Mrs. Putnam, about those who tortured you. Who are they? I'm grateful to all of you for not objecting to my presence at the reading of this will.
Well, having you here, Detective Hanson, is best for all of us. We're really obliged to you for your kindness.
Thank you, Miss Putnam. And now, if all of you don't mind, Dr. Holloway, Mr. Putnam, Williamson, Adams, I'll be brief. Oh, Porky, wheel Mr. Putnam's chair a little closer.
Right, Jeff.
I had the courts appoint me to see that this will is made valid and legal. Now, this is it. I, Martha Putnam, being of sound mind and body, do hereby bequeath my entire fortune and all my worldly goods to Joel Adams, my partner.
Oh, no, you've made a mistake.
Careful, Lois. What did you say, Miss Putnam?
That isn't my aunt's last will.
Lois. No, I must confess, Miss Putnam, that isn't in your aunt's last will.
Then what do you mean by reading that? My aunt left everything to me.
Please, Lois.
You're right, Lois. I did. In the will you forced me to sign.
Mrs. Putnam. Don't move, Doctor.
Yes, Lois, I signed a will leaving everything to you, that's true. But only because you and your darling doctor forced me to. Oh, I never dreamed that my own flesh and blood would be that selfish.
Just a moment, Mrs. Putnam. The conspiracy to spirit you away and bury the cook in your place was entirely my idea. Don't blame Lois.
It was a clever plot, my friends, and it might have worked, but fortunately you made mistakes. By the way, Doctor, does that bandage on your hand cover a nasty bite you got while doing away with the dog?
Yes, it does. I confess to everything, Mr. Hanson, but Mrs. Putnam is as much to blame as anyone. Everyone who ever lived in this house hated her. With all the money you had, Mrs. Putnam, you never did one decent thing in your whole life. You distrusted everybody and hurt everybody. And so we plotted to get you out of the way. Fate was kind enough to provide us with your cook as the means. With your money, we could have gotten something out of life.
You'll get life now, all right, without her money.
You can relax now, friend. This story is over. But still another plot is being formed for our next session in the inner sanctum. Are we scared? Sure. But what of it? Isn't the villain a great deal more frightened than we? But thanks to clever sleuthing, everything will be solved. And there's one more mystery we may be able to solve for you quite easily. When you don't feel good, when you're low and irritable and the whole world looks black and uninviting, try Carter's Little Liver Pill. Don't give in to that depressed feeling that bogs you down. Go to your nearest drugstore right now and ask for genuine Carter's Little Liver Pills. Regular size, 25 cents. we've closed the door to the inner sanctum for another week. Time to go. But spread the news to all arch criminals that we shall ride again in their pursuit next week. This is no laughing matter for them, my friends, so take your tongue out of your cheek. That's better. Remember, we'll expect you next week at this same time in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. Oh, by the way, you like good mystery stories, so be sure to read this month's Inner Sanctum mystery, The Case of the Solid Key, by Anthony Boucher. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
There is no answer, Lawson. None, yes.
I know there are folk here. Was there not a light? And I am hungry.
Well, then, burst the door down.
No, wait. They hear footsteps.
Who's there?
Friend. My pal and I are soaked to the skin in this cursed storm. Our car. We beg your hospitality.
Oh, certainly. One moment whilst I light the lamp. Come in.
Dank.
There. That's nice to be on the open road, alone.
Yeah. We discovered that our car broke down, and we foolishly decided to go ahead on foot. We were almost drowned when we saw your light.
I was just going to bed.
We are sorry to disturb you. But if you will let us stay in your parlor until the storm subsides...
No. I have plenty of room here. Yeah, only my daughter and myself to occupy this great house. We should be glad of company.
You are very good.
Yeah, you are very good, son.
I am Dr. Paul Benjamin.
Your pardon, sir. In the exigency of the moment, I am Laszlo von Drachenstein, and my wife, Countess von Drachenstein.
You are both very welcome.
I'm very grateful, Herr Doctor.
If you will excuse me, I shall get some brandy. You must be chilled.
Yeah, thank you. I feel much better already.
Do take off your cloaks. Fortunately, the fire is made. I'll just touch a match to it. There. We'll both be all right in a moment.
This is better than we dared hope, Dr. Benjamin.
I'll get the brandy.
Lucky little Laszlo.
He said he had a daughter.
Yeah.
Be careful, Maya.
Am I not always careful?
Not always, sweetheart.
There are times when you...
Any time.
This will make you both feel better, I know. I prescribe 3 ounces each.
Doctor, your diagnosis and your prescription are both accepted with pleasure. And it drives the chill from the heart. Eh, Mario?
Ja, I see.
You are tired.
A little? Yeah. We have come a long distance.
Shall we let the warmth of the fire soak in a few more minutes? Then I shall show you to your room.
Yeah, let us sit here a moment. Just this.
Open fire is excellent medicine.
It is magic, Doctor.
We won't be needing the lamp, will we? I'll just blow it out. A solid comfort. Give me a room with only a fireplace to light it.
Yeah. On the wind, on the rain, howling like lost demons outside.
You should see our home in the mountains of Transylvania, Herr Doctor. The tower room. Laszlo?
Yeah. Our place was built in the 11th century, Doctor. On the tower room where we sleep is 30 meters above the ground. You should hear the wind scream around there when winter comes.
Yeah. How many years we have heard it?
More years than I like to think, my dear.
Yeah, I know. You live alone here, you said, Herr Doctor?
Yes. There's only myself and my daughter. We have lived here 6 months now. We've often dreamed of a place of our own, such as this. Last September, our dream came true.
You have been here all winter?
Yes. And with none of the appurtenances of civilization to annoy us, too. No telephone, no electric lights.
You have no communication with the city, then?
Nothing but the car. We're entirely on our own.
On your daughter?
Oh, she enjoys it tremendously. It's all very new and interesting to her.
You are not lonely?
Lonely? No, indeed. I am engaged in psychic research. A study of supernatural phenomena. Ghosts and things, you know.
I see.
It keeps us rather busy. Writing a book, you know.
How very interesting.
Yes. It is. Very.
Laszlo, I'm afraid I shall have to go to bed. I am more tired than I thought.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I sit here talking, boring you both to death when you're so tired.
We have been very interested, sir. But we are tired.
You must forgive me, both of you. I'd like a candle. If you'll just follow me.
Thank you. Oh, will you bring the cloak, Laszlo?
Yeah. Lead on here, Doctor.
This way, up the stairs. I thank you. Yes. This room. You'll find everything there, I think. Extra blankets if you're cold.
I don't know how to thank you.
We are very grateful, sir.
Not at all, not at all. I hope you'll have a good night's sleep. In the morning we can see about your car and get up when you feel like it. Breakfast is a very informal meal at this house.
I am sure we shall sleep late.
I know we shall. We are notorious as late sleepers.
Yeah, that is right. We may not awake until noon. Yeah, Doctor.
Quite all right, quite all right. Anytime you decide to get up, we'll be all right. If you're sure you'll be comfortable then, good night.
We are tremendously grateful, sir. Good enough.
Good enough, dear Doctor.
Father.
Yes.
What's the matter, Father? I heard you walking around, and
Man and his wife. The car is stalled, and we're putting them up for the night.
Oh, where did you put them?
In the room at the head of the stairs. Funny people.
Funny? Why?
Foreigners. Germans. From Transylvania.
Oh, that's in Hungary.
Is it?
That's where Dracula's castle was.
Yes, it must be Hungary. The names didn't sound so German.
What are they?
His name is Laszlo.
Hmm?
Hers is Maria.
What's their last name?
Druckenstein.
Druckenstein?
Yeah. What's the matter?
Father, come in here a minute. I want to show you something.
Esther,
Wait just a moment. I think I've got it right here. I was putting these old newspapers in the dresser drawer for lining. Oh, here it is. Read it, Father. Read it.
Hungarian nobleman and wife die in crash. Count Laszlo Druckenstein and his wife, the Countess Maria, were crushed to death early today when their car was struck by a speeding truck. Yes. Good God, Esther.
Look at the date of the paper, Father.
April the 10th. A week ago today.
Always say that.
Fool. Did you not hear him say that he is a student of the supernatural? We must wait. We must not betray ourselves.
I am hungry.
You must wait, I tell you.
Laszlo, there is the daughter.
That is right. There is the daughter.
Shall we?
No. Better that we wait. It is almost dawn now. It will be only a little while until night ends.
Until?
Your beloved. Ben.
Father, it's almost 5 o'clock.
I know, dear.
Why don't you try to wake
our guests again. Dinner will be ready in a short while.
Well, they must have been tired out.
Father.
What, dear?
It's strange that they should have slept the whole day through.
They were very tired.
Yes, I suppose so. Oh, it's getting dark out.
Yes, it's clouding up again. Probably have another storm.
Go and wake them, Father.
All right.
Herr Doctor.
Oh, it's that me.
We have just risen. On saying that it is dark, we made haste to come downstairs.
I was just going up again to wake you.
Lord, we have slept all day long. It is night again.
Yeah, beloved. It is night. Herr Doctor, I'm sorry to intrude us upon your house, but...
Not at all, not at all. Glad of the company. It's too late now to go looking for your car. It's almost dinner time anyway. Esther?
Yes, Father?
May I present my daughter, Esther, Count and Countess Drachenstein.
It is an honor, Fräulein.
I am charmed, my dear. You are very beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I must attend to the dinner. It'll be ready soon.
Shall we go into the living room? You don't need us, do you, Esther?
No, Father. I'll manage.
You know, the most amazing thing happened last night after you came in.
Yeah?
My daughter called me as I went down the hall after I showed you your room, and I explained what had happened. Quite casually, I mentioned your names. Esther was quite agitated because she had just seen a newspaper of a week ago with an item about the death of the Count and Countess Drachenstein.
Did you say the death of...
Yes. I was stupefied.
Yeah, I should think so.
It must have been impostors using our name.
Yeah, it must have been.
They certainly do not seem to be dead.
No.
It's strange, anyway. The fire's getting low. I must bring in more logs. Will you excuse me?
May I help?
No. I'll be right back. Sit there and be comfortable.
Laszlo, you fool.
I know. But he thinks no more of it now.
I told you we should not use the old name.
We have explained it satisfactorily to the old fool.
But that daughter, Laszlo, he must watch her.
I saw her.
Good thing I went after these logs now. It's starting to rain again.
That will be another bad night.
Not so bad as last night, I hope.
Dinner will be ready in a moment.
Good. I'm about to starve.
I am hungry too, Herr Doctor.
And I too, good doctor.
Shall we go into the dining room then?
By all means.
Sit down.
Thanks.
Esther will be here in just a moment.
Father.
Why, what's the matter, Esther?
Nothing, Father. I was just startled. Aren't we going to have cocktails?
Oh, my goodness, I forgot. Yes, indeed, I'll go and make them. I'm sorry, I really am.
You do not
We have
need
time. Dinner won't be ready for just a moment.
Esther! There's the shaker.
I'll find it, Father. You'll excuse me.
Esther, I can't find it.
Do you know why I cried out when I came in there?
No,
Go look through the crack of the swinging door.
At what?
The mirror at the end of the room. Look. What do you see?
Why, that's strange.
You see it, too?
The Count and the Countess should be reflected in the mirror.
They should be. Yes.
I can see their place at the table. The chairs. Yes, sir.
Yes, Father, I know. I saw it.
Perhaps they're gone.
Could I have you with a cocktail, sir, Doctor?
Oh, Father, I'm afraid.
I know now, Esther. God help us this night.
Good enough, then. We shall try to be up a little earlier tomorrow morning.
Good night. Good night, Countess.
Good enough, my friend. Pleasant dreams.
Yes? Who is it?
It is I, Esther. Let me in quickly.
I brought the book, Father.
Let me see it quickly.
I found the case. Here.
Yes. A garland of wild roses on the door. A holy crucifix. May not step over a blade of steel.
I gathered some wild roses while I was out after dinner, Father.
Good. Hang them here on the doorknob.
And I brought that old dueling sword from the attic. And the crucifix. Here, I took it down from the wall. Oh, Father, do you really think...
We may be in deadly danger tonight, daughter. I don't know.
I know we're in danger, Father. I know. I can feel it.
You go and lie down, dear. Place some of the wild roses on your breast. But don't go to sleep. I'll watch. We'll keep just as quiet as possible till dawn comes, and they are powerless.
That is why we didn't see them all to me then?
I'm afraid so. God guard us both.
Must you put out the light, Father?
Better, I think. No. I'll just turn it down a little. You sure not to go to sleep, daughter?
Papa.
Yes, dear?
Do you hear anything?
Only the storm?
I thought I heard footsteps. Listen.
No. Nothing in the house. Be quiet.
Two o'clock. Only 2 more hours till dawn. Father, look. The door.
What?
The knob. It's jammed.
It's locked securely.
What? It's stopped. They've gone.
Perhaps I better go out in the hall and...
No. Stay here with me, Father. Stay here.
Give me the crucifix.
No. Oh, God.
What is it, child?
Under the door. Look. Rain is stealing in.
What? What is it?
Oh, look. The mist. It's crawling into the room.
I can't stop it.
Oh, God in heaven, have mercy upon us.
Esther, my hand, my arm. I can't move.
Quiet, old man.
Oh, praise the Lord.
God help me. Oh, the crucifix protects her old fool.
What do you have for?
Hey, we thought that.
What? You have for?
Down in the spot. Let her go.
I cannot. The crucifix.
Don't go home.
Oh, Lord. His grave.
She is dead. Come, help me now.
Mother, save me, it is so. Remember.
No. Take my blood if you will. But spare her. Esther. Esther.
Yes, my old fool.
Dearest Esther. Come, darling. No. They can fling away the crucifix. Darling, fling away the crucifix.
The crucifix will do you no good, Esther. Come, take one, throw it down.
No, Esther, no.
That's the crucifix from a hand, Maya. Quickly, right thrust.
I cannot. Oh, Lord, no, I cannot.
Not just the way hell comes.
Oh, I cannot.
Try.
I cannot. It will burn. Oh, Lord, no, it is burning. Burn to the bone.
Come, Esther. Put down the crucifix.
Esther, wake. You have cheated me of my share of the blood. I will have the old man.
That is mine. Stop, I say.
Father.
Esther. Oh, Esther. Now, praise God, they have delivered themselves into our hands. Vampires, the end is come.
What have you done?
Father.
They are powerless to harm you as long as you have the crucifix, Esther.
But the stone.
Esther, listen. I must die. Very soon, I think. I've lost such blood.
Oh, Father.
No. Stay here. My dearest, will you die to have rid the world of these foul creatures?
Die? Oh, I cannot.
Think, Esther. For centuries they have haunted the earth. They have dragged many down to the depths of hell. Shall we not both die to destroy them?
You fool. You cannot destroy us. We are beyond the earth.
Nevertheless, I think you shall. Esther,
I am ready, Father. May God have mercy on us both.
No, you cannot. Listen, fool. For 7 centuries we have lived.
Now you die, I think.
Listen. And how you we shall die then, Doctor? Tell me.
Even vampires may be fools.
What have you done? Answer me. Answer me.
Try to get out of the room, vampire. Try.
The vile roof. At the window. And in the crack of the door. There he came in.
But I was going first, please.
That is what I think. Yes. Now you die, vampire.
Human weapons cannot touch our kind.
No. But fire can.
Fire? But
You cannot die. Your strength is spent, old man.
Esther.
Yes, Father. I know.
There are matches in the drawer there.
Yes, Father.
No.
Where are the crucifix, vampire?
Back, I say.
You're not afraid to die, Esther?
No, Father. Nine, let me escape, Esther. Oh, do not say it. Fire.
Will not last long, Esther. Just a moment, and then that's a death.
No, you will not do this.
I happy knowing that I have rid the earth of you, creatures of evil.
I will make you rich. Rich, you hear? Rich.
Yeah, we will give you money.
Have you found the matches, Esther?
I have found them, Father.
Go then.
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, my daughter. God bless you.
Esther.
Fan the flame a little, Esther. Fan. Esther, my daughter.
Forgive me. I die.
Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank you all for listening. And remember, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/terror1970. And you can find me also on Instagram at Radio Show Nerd. I also have a YouTube channel, Terror Radio. Please check it out. Like and share the videos, subscribe. Will be highly appreciated. Again, this is your host, Keith, better known as the Radio Show Nerd, signing off.